What is going on, everybody? It is episode 953 of Pop Culture Crisis. My name is Brett, and I am here once again back from the weekend with my co-host. Introduce yourself, please.
Hello, Crisis Actors. It's Mary. Welcome back from the weekend, and a happy Monday. Guys, we are joined by a guest that you have seen before. She's actually joining to get familiar with our operations here on PCC because, believe it or not, being a podcaster is really hard work. Hi.
Hi, everyone. I'm Alex Ayala. I'm a video editor and producer here at Timcast. You might know me from Inverted World Live. I'm actually sitting in for Inverted World Live tonight, so come check us out there at 10 p.m.
Nice.
Yeah,
Brett is going to be out of town, guys, this Friday and the Monday following this Friday.
Correct.
So Alex is going to be joining me this Friday.
Yeah, you can't just, it's really hard work doing what we do, guys. You can't just drop people in here.
Big shoes to fill.
So I did a video today on, what was the video? It was on, not the GLAAD thing. It was on the Billy Bob Thornton thing about his thing about telling celebrities to stop talking about politics. And one of the things that I was talking about in there is what they want. They want to be influencers. They don't want to be actors because influencers can complain. And even then, you're not supposed to, right? It's a bad look if you have like a job that other people would want to sit there and complain about it. That is the territory of those who have, regular jobs because you have kind of a charmed life to do what we do. So even if there is stuff to complain about, it's in your best interest to just shut the fuck up and not complain.
What if you were really outspoken about politics as a celebrity, but you just support every single president? You just cape for them no matter
Spears.
What. Doesn't matter who they are, what they advocate for, what they legislate. You're just pro president.
Wait, did you just say Britney Spears?
Remember?
She was kind of in that camp,
she supported
the Bush
every
era.
president?
She was like, I just think that we need to trust our president, and we just have to follow his lead and just trust that he's gonna do the right thing.
I'm okay with that though.
Yeah,
I accept.
let's go. Dick Cheney would love that.
Pepsi's Pepsi.
Yeah.
I was like, yes.
Guys, we're bringing back nationalism and patriotism here on this podcast. What you should do, you should hit the like button on this episode, please, and subscribe to the channel if you are new here and you have not subscribed here yet already. Please and thank you. Remember to share the episode out with everybody in your lives that you both love and hate. The more people that you share the show with, the faster this channel can grow. So thank you guys so much for that. Also, Mary has coffee to show.
Yes, I absolutely do. Go to castbrew.com if you have not already gotten yourself a bag of Mary's Ghost Blend. Time is not running out, but I'm just going to try to make you feel that way. Yes, this is my s'mores flavored coffee in the Cast Brew lineup. I would say it's the best. I am not biased at all. And it smells delicious. I just remembered that super chat that said it poured all over this guy's car.
Yeah.
And it's embedded in his car now.
And
I was like, you know what?
His dog got into it.
Sounds like
wow.
you just have free air freshener now. Your car is just going to smell like s'mores.
Crazy Crisis Party update. And actually, hold on. Let me double check this. Mary, take over for
and I forgot to mention, by the way, that there is a discount code on castbrew.com, turkey20 for 20% off for Thanksgiving.
So crazy update on the crisis meter last week. No, it is crazy. So we were having all sorts of stuff with the crisis meter and super chats last week. Literally after Mary left, I was here till about 6:15, 6:30. I had to record another video, and then I had to edit this episode, last episode, and a couple of other things. And while I was recording the next video, the Google Doc kept updating, and this thing kept going off. And it's like today where I was complaining about my phone bothering me when I'm trying to record a video. It's like the world, the universe is out conspiring against me. So I came in on Monday, and every super chat re-uploaded into the Google Doc. It was just very, very slow.
Yeah, well, now they seem to be populating the way they're supposed to. Yep. I want to restore trust with the crisis actors this episode. I know you guys were really mad. You thought that we were skipping your chats on purpose, which we wouldn't do. So I think things are going to run smoothly this time.
Yeah, get us a couple of crisis parties because I don't want to be embarrassed that I'm sitting in.
Yeah, then if you don't, then it's going to be Alex's fault, which is me.
Whenever Mary is gone, I remind them she's not coming back unless we get 2 crisis parties
And
today.
It's the same way when you're out of town on Friday. If you guys don't get us 2 crisis parties, he is not coming back. So.
Correct. I also
warning.
2 crisis parties and a couple bags of coffee sold. That's what I think.
Yeah, that would only be fair.
Yeah.
So I also want to give you an update, update, guys. I did do a third episode of the PCC Weekend Update. You can find that on Spotify and all the audio platforms. I've taken a lot of joy in coming in and recording those segments extra. I came in and recorded 2 more today because I will be gone on Friday and Monday. I'm hoping to get at least 3 or 4 of them filmed, depending on how much time is on. I can only get up so early in the mornings because I'm not what they call well, actually, no, they call it a night owl. What do you call a morning person? It's just a morning person.
An early bird.
An early bird. I'm not an early bird, but I came in today. I worked through the brain fog. I recorded 2 separate segments. So if you're listening to the audio version of this podcast, there should be this Saturday at 5 p.m. a new episode 4 of the PCC Weekend Update. So be sure to stay tuned for that. So what are we getting into today? Well, first we reported on the Millie Bobby Brown situation. We heard that there might be some type of bad blood going on backstage, as they said that Millie Bobby Brown filed a complaint against David Harbour. Then they said it wasn't true. Now apparently it is true. You can't keep up with any of this crap. So we're going to get into the follow-up because apparently it is true. We are also going to talk about Kelsea Ballerini. If you don't know who that is, don't worry because you're probably a dude. You probably don't know who she is. She's a country singer, and she is complaining about her singleness and her lack of family. And Mary posits that this is her own doing.
Yeah, I think that she has released this song that's super relatable to a lot of her fan base, which is mostly women. But when I looked into her own personal circumstances, I realized maybe she brought this on herself. Maybe she sabotaged her own life. Yeah, and then of course there was also Christy that debuted this weekend with a horrible box office return. Like historically bad.
Yep. On the heels of all of the controversy going around with Sweeney and American Eagle denim fallout, as if anybody cares about American Eagle. So we're going to talk about all that. Also, there's this lady going around trying to make churches look bad on TikTok. So we got that. We got a bunch of other stuff. If you ladies are ready, we can go. Mary, are you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Ready?
Let's do it.
Let's go for it.
Okay, so in case you need a refresher on this story, at the beginning of this month, it was reported in the Daily Mail that there was a bitter feud between Millie Bobby Brown and her co-star on Stranger Things, David Harbour, who also just so happened to be in the middle of an extremely messy, extremely public divorce from Lily Allen that released this album that makes him look like just a disgusting sex freak gooner. So that's totally unrelated, but possibly there are sources giving negative information about David Harbour to disreputable outlets like Daily Mail in order to damage his reputation in regard to the Stranger Things scandal. Now, it was not very specific, but it was reported that Millie Bobby Brown reported him internally at Netflix for bullying and harassment. They didn't get into any of the claims, but there were allegedly pages and pages of accusations that she leveled at him. There was an internal investigation, and then ultimately now we found out that actually did happen, and it was resolved.
Do you remember the story? It was like 2 months ago where Cameron Diaz said she came back to work 'cause she hadn't acted in like 15 years and was surprised when found out that Netflix had like an internal system for reporting bad actor, like people that are misbehaving.
Yeah, I guess there wasn't as much of an HR culture in any industry 15 years ago, but
like with
that's
the
taken
intimacy
over.
coordinators, that's all new too, right?
Yes.
Intimacy coordinators and just HR liability protections in general for all of these studios, Netflix included. So it was actually true that Millie Bobby complained against David Harbour to their higher ups, and they launched this investigation prior to the beginning of their finale season production at the beginning of 2024. But now we found out they resolved it prior to the beginning of production. And when this rumor leaked, Netflix probably thought, like, how are we going to damage control for this? Like, how do we counter this narrative, make everyone think that everything is okay and everyone's chummy? And when we saw the videos of them at the premiere, like laughing together, embracing, acting a little bit too friendly, everyone thought, yeah, this is the doing of Netflix. That has now been confirmed by a report from Variety over the weekend.
I put the article in the chat if anybody wants to follow along.
David Harbour is not having a good month, they say. And attendees at the LA premiere event on November 6th for the final season of Stranger Things might not have noticed. He was all smiles on the red carpet, particularly as he playfully hugged Millie Bobby Brown and he took selfies with fans.
Here's that video if anybody wants to
This was one of
remember.
those many videos of them hugging each other and
He's
playing
literally like-
around and joking with each other. We have no idea like what he was saying to her on the red carpet, obviously, but she was
Make
like,
it big, make it
belly
big. Like,
laughing at everything he said.
Go for it, go for it,
Yeah.
go for it. It was like a director was in their
Yeah.
ear saying like, you got to look like you guys really love being in the same room together.
They arrived at the event together and traded compliments to each other in interviews on the red carpet, just like absolutely over the top complimentary of each other. And if the two seemed overly chummy, perhaps that was the point. The premiere event came just days after the Daily Mail report that Brown filed a complaint of bullying and harassment against Harbour prior to season 5 production. The news of her complaint against David Harbour has threatened to overshadow coverage of the final season, but insiders say that even before the news, Harbour wasn't expected to take part in press junkets for the show due to his busy filming schedule. So there was an erroneous report that David Harbour was ousted from all of their interviews that they were going to do on the press tour. That wasn't actually true. He was never supposed to be part of them in the first place. PR experts suggested to Variety that the red carpet choreography, as well as the full cast appearance together on stage at the TCL Chinese Theater prior to screening episode 1, was meant to send a message that the cast is united and the show is bigger than any one person. The goal in these situations is to make it no worse. And they didn't explicitly deny the report about the investigation because it's obviously true. We know that now. But people thought that spoke more volumes. Instead, Netflix leaned into the imagery of David Harbour and Millie Bobby Brown being playful on the carpet, posting a video as the two greeted fans. Her fashion brand, she actually has a fashion brand called Florence by Mills,
That's
actually
shocking.
liked the video on Instagram and commented a heart emoji. Many of the fan comments on the post suggested that they thought the reports of drama between the two was much ado about nothing, and they said it was just Daily Mail reporting fake news, right? Which I guess they're a little bit notorious for doing. Photos taken inside the party also show the two being very chummy. Sources with knowledge of the situation have confirmed now to Variety that there was an investigation into the complaint from Millie Bobby Brown and that it was resolved. As father and daughter on the show, as well as comrades in arms, Brown and Harbour share multiple scenes in season 5. Representatives for the both of them have not responded to requests for comment.
Nor would they. I wouldn't have
smart
expected them
decision
to,
on their
yeah.
part. And then they had comments from both of the Duffer brothers on the red carpet, as well as executive producer Sean Levy, not explicitly denying the report from Daily Mail, but referencing it, saying it's possibly inaccurate. And the Daily Mail report was sourced by a friend of Lily Allen,
Yeah.
which makes it seem like perhaps there was a leaker that just wanted to smear him due to their ongoing divorce proceedings.
I love that they wrote the name of the song in the article from Variety. Somebody has to type that out.
P-Word Palace. Yeah, that was one of the songs on her new album, West End Girl, which goes into extensive detail about Harbour's alleged infidelity, including his hundreds of Trojans and butt plugs that he buys from CVS with his full government name.
I still believe that, like from what I've seen, there's still a decent amount of hype around Stranger Things season 5. It's confounding
Really?
to me. Yes.
Like there's
yes, it
a
is.
dedicated fan base,
There
I know,
is.
but it's gotten smaller and smaller over time from what I can tell.
And I don't see anything of this story being anything to stop it in any way, shape, or
I
form.
mean, they should have just left the drama going.
Yeah.
That might have brought more,
Maybe
more
play
people to watch
into it, like have
Yeah.
them give each other dirty looks at
Exactly.
the premiere instead of
Yeah.
the over-the-top friendliness that
Yeah,
they
'cause
displayed.
Now people want to go watch a show and be like, oh, can I see what's going on like between them?
Yeah.
At what point in the show did she actually file the complaint against
Exactly.
him?
But we had to clarify because last week, I believe on Friday, we talked about the premiere and all the videos that Netflix was posting of the two of them and said, like, maybe Daily Mail lied.
But I
We
mean,
thought it was possible.
but also
certainly.
like this could have happened anywhere around the time that this show went into production for season 5, which was in like the beginning of 2024. So this
Yeah.
could be water deep under the bridge for both of them,
Sure.
and they've moved on since then.
But this is like a perfect example of, you know, cross-generational disputes in the workplace that goes beyond just the entertainment industry. Like recently we were just talking about how Gen Z rates Gen Z as the most annoying generation to work with. they like hate themselves and know that they're annoying to work with.
Yeah.
And the baby boomers actually ranked second, according to Gen Z, as most annoying to work with. Like, they actually recognize their own faults. And perhaps Millie Bobby Brown just didn't take kindly to some of David Harbour's off-color jokes.
Is he baby boomer or Gen X?
He's a Gen Xer, actually.
He has to be, yeah.
Yeah.
He's not that old.
The Gen Xers always get ignored in those polls and surveys because they're like the lost generation. Like, nobody thinks or talks about them.
He's just out there having a good time.
He's been acting forever. He was in he played the annoying CIA guy in Quantum of Solace because he had the same mustache in there. Not
but
Felix
I stand
Leiter.
by what I said. He just looks sinister.
Yeah.
There's something about his face, the way he looks at people. He
I don't
gives me
think-
Ryan Reynolds vibes. Like,
I don't think
like
he
it.
looks sinister. I think he looks exactly like what he is, a successful Hollywood
Backtrack
douche.
now.
Successful
You
Hollywood
agreed
douche.
with me at the time. You did say you agree that he seems, his face is just like.
Okay, let me rephrase. There is an air of like anger. I don't know if that's sinister though, because angry people aren't necessarily like evil. But he looks like he has to constantly control his anger.
By the way, guys, this is my new Hello Kitty cup that I'm going to be drinking out of.
You retired
being.
the old Stanley.
I retired the Stanley. This is a Hello Kitty cup that Brett gave me, actually.
Yes.
So thank you for
Is that like Christmas
Adorable.
last year?
I believe so.
Better than you regifting it and somebody else here showing up with it. Like that would have been funny. Tim's
wouldn't
drinking out of like a Hello Kitty.
It's like a secret
Stanley.
Santa gift. She just,
I would not regift this.
There's a
we have
20 there from Rural Conservative.
I said I would keep you updated. I got the combine back from the mechanic Friday evening. Bill came to 2015-43 about what I expected. So glad to have that behind me. We're glad for you.
Does that get written off on your taxes? You should be able to write that off on
Hopefully.
your taxes as work equipment.
Yeah, absolutely.
I hope the
Wishing
harvest
you all
went
luck
well.
with your harvest. Yes.
I'm kind of with Alex on this one. It's such a refreshing story to have it not be them being creepy creeps, that maybe just let the drama build.
I think as long as there's no allegation of sexual
Yes.
misconduct, you
Let
can
it
kind
go.
of do whatever you want.
Yeah.
well, and
regard to
he
the
was
PR.
being very handsy. Like, they were all handsy. So it's like, it plays in more to like whatever
But
the
it's like,
problem was.
because everyone on the show is family. Like, I don't like that type of PR that's like the coworkers pretending that it's a family. Like, nobody actually feels that way. I'm sure all of these actors are desperate to put this show behind them finally.
I mean, network television is different because they work. I mean, it's probably different for these guys because their series are done in limited runs and they have like 9,000 years between seasons.
Right.
But like on network television, they're filming 9 to 10 months out of the year.
I think
and they're
actors-
together 18 hours a day.
No, I think actors are really like that. They're
Some
like
of
they're
them.
like, oh, we're family, we're friends forever. Oh my god!
Yeah.
But on the red carpet, they
There
have
was-
to button it up a little bit.
There was like an interview with Finn Wolfhard where he was asked about how he felt about the end of the show, and he said like, yeah, I was in the car with like some of my castmates. I just started crying because it's just such an emotional thing. And then he said Sadie Sink, another one of the kids on the cast, they're not kids anymore, but was a kid on the cast. She turned to him and was like, give it a day, you'll be fine.
yeah.
Like, she just doesn't care at all.
They'll move on to the next family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think some of them maybe are more anxious to get this thing over with
Like,
than
can we
others.
just time to move on?
Well, also because they were so young, right? You said it was 5 years between seasons. Is that
I mean,
right?
not necessarily.
Many
between-
years,
I mean, the
though.
show started in what year?
2015.
And it's been 10 years
Yeah.
to
So,
do 5 seasons.
This is
So-
kind of like their version of graduating from high school or college.
Yeah, but but on network TV, they're together for 10 months out of the year, 9 to 10 months out of the year, and they work 17 or 18 hours a day. Obviously, you're going to develop a closer relationship with some of them than perhaps even your own family because you're just spending an inordinate amount of time together on set.
Maybe this was all a distraction campaign from Noah Schnapp being a Zionist.
That's what it is.
And the calls for disavowal from the
Yeah.
rest of the cast.
That's what they were trying to do. They were trying to save him.
I didn't see any photos, interviews, or videos of him, actually,
No.
now that I think about it.
No.
Which is interesting because he was always actually the protagonist of the show. At least it was planned out that way.
Yeah,
that
but-
Will Byers was the star of the show.
But all of the men in the show, Finn is the one that's, I guess, the
Right.
most successful.
yeah, he's like going on to
Yeah.
A24.
Yeah.
I guess that's his vibe.
But he just plays Finn Wolfhard and everything.
And Millie Bobby Brown's vibe is like just whatever Netflix slop is coming out.
That's why I love her.
Every year.
Because she's like, I don't care. She's the opposite of Sydney Sweeney. She's like, I'll take whatever you can give me.
She is kind of a big star, but she doesn't really get a lot of roles, does she? Like Millie Bobby.
Well, she gets a lot of roles, but not
Like
in
big
movies that get released to theaters. She's in streaming movies
I think
that
she's
nobody
just
cares
like,
about.
I'll take Enola Holmes 5 and I'll do The Electric State and I'll stay at home with my husband. That's fine with me. And then I love that because then the film nerds are like,
No, like Winona Ryder was throwing major shade at her for not being a film buff, which is so lame.
Which is like, if I was her, then I would have taken an even bigger piece of slop. If Winona Ryder was like, you gotta do like Jenna Ortega and watch every movie from French cinema in the '60s. She's like, yeah, I just want to make money.
Is Winona Ryder still awkward on red carpets?
I mean, yeah, but that's just her. Like, it's considered charming.
There was the red carpet with like her and Jenna Ortega.
Everyone remembers that one.
The pizza.
Like whatever that award show was that they were at, the whole Stranger Things cast went up on stage, and whoever was speaking at the moment like mentioned like, I feel like there was some sort of mass tragic event that was referenced in the speech, and then Winona Ryder like went from smiling and being like, yeah, to being like, oh yeah,
like all
we're
weird.
really sad about that.
That was her job to do
she
that.
just looked like she was on one.
It happens, you don't want to. It's like when WWE announced that Osama bin Laden had been killed on live television.
That happened?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, there was just this article the other day about like how The Rock got the information before it was released to the public, so he was like the one to announce it because like he was like, I'm going to announce it at this time because by that time Barack Obama was supposed to have given his speech, but I guess it got delayed. He's like, whoops.
Well, I guess it was good news. Yeah. So.
All right, let's move on. We got more to get into.
At the moment, multiple pop stars are embroiled in controversy with the Trump administration because whatever social media management team is behind their TikTok page is choosing songs from Olivia Rodrigo and Taylor Swift and others to promote their hype reels of DHS and ICE. And I just don't understand why the government needs hype reels in the first place. But I think that what they're doing is intentional provocation of these pop stars who they know are not in favor of what the administration is doing. They're trying to provoke a response and not really getting what they want, except from Olivia Rodrigo. They recently used her song All American Bitch for a hype reel of the DHS.
Maybe that can be Amy Adams' next movie. Instead of Night Bitch, she can make All American Bitch.
On this post, DHS captioned it, "Leave now and self-deport using the CBP Home app. If you don't, you will face the consequences." And this was the one that used her song. I checked actually before the show, and Olivia Rodrigo's record label, I assume, did actually make a move to revoke access to the song on their post. So it doesn't have the sound available anymore. But she commented on this on Instagram saying, "Don't ever use my songs to promote your racist, hateful propaganda." And on the TikTok post, she said, "Ew, don't use my sound ever again. Thank you."
I don't think she has control over that if it's made in-app.
Well, they can because I just checked and the song is not on the post anymore.
So they can.
I don't know how that works.
Because like on Instagram, if you're making a reel in-app, you just get the song from their like the music that's legal there,
right?
And you have to do that because theoretically, like you could make like an edit at home with your with that song that you have downloaded on your computer, and it'll get flagged because it's copyrighted music. But if you actually get it from Instagram, then you can actually use it.
So what the record label can do is take a song entirely off of the platform, not from a specific account.
Is that what they did?
I think they might have actually just revoked access to it for the entire app.
That's ridiculous.
I mean,
which
that's
screws
insane.
over her fans and all of the influencers who are using her songs.
Yeah,
for their
what about all the
videos.
other all-American bitches who want to use it?
They screwed over all the other American bitches. And they've done the same thing with several of Taylor Swift's songs at this point, starting with a pro-Trump TikTok video to the track The Fate of Ophelia. And it has been noted by many leftist anti-Swifties that The Fate of Ophelia has these like militaristic images that it evokes. She's talking about, the land, the sea, the sky, and pledging allegiance to your hands, your team, your vibe. This is what they drew upon to make a hype reel about Trump. And then Taylor Swift and her team remained silent on the issue. Contrary to what Variety would have you believe, they reported on this and said, responding to Variety's request for comment, a White House official replied, "We made this video because we knew fake news media brands like Variety would breathlessly amplify them. Congrats, you got played." Like, I just don't think that's the own you think it is, Trump administration. Like, I don't think that's really an own that a media outlet asked for a comment on your post. And then
I mean, it is if the point is engagement.
They acted like Variety was getting played by taking an interest in it. Like, it's, I don't know, like, is that...
I mean, that's the nature of engagement bait on the internet now. That's the whole point.
I understand that Swifties are mad, but I highly doubt Taylor Swift even noticed or cares.
I mean, no, she definitely noticed because this would be brought up by her PR team. So it's definitely something she has to keep in mind. But whether it bothers her, I doubt.
Yeah. And then they doubled down, posting a second video on the Team Trump TikTok page using her new song Father Figure. I guess referring to Trump as the father figure of our nation. Swift's team did not remove her song from the first video using The Fate of Ophelia and declined multiple requests for comment from journalists this week. They're choosing to remain mum. And then a third TikTok with Taylor Swift's song Opalite was used as a hype reel for Melania Trump accepting the Patriot of the Year award. And they said Trump is clearly loving this. It's only happening because Swift said nothing after the first video. Meanwhile, Olivia Rodrigo blasted the administration for using her song. Here is the thing. You can't just keep provoking and provoking and provoking before you just seem desperate for attention. Like, that's how it seems to me. The Trump administration is just like really hoping that Taylor Swift is going to say something like a disavowal, and she's just not willing to, which is a better look for her than it is for them.
Okay, then I have to ask you, what is, you said you don't think they should be making hype reels, but if they have to, what is a good artist that they could be using for hype reels? Has to be somebody...
Country music.
No, it can't be like... Okay, fine. But it has to be...
Sleep Token.
I agree.
I'm just kidding.
I agree.
Please don't do that.
I need to know what genre they actually should use. You think country music?
Yeah.
I think that's going backwards. I think
Eminem.
they're like
if they're looking for an artist that will actually lash out and get triggered by this, Eminem absolutely would have a full-on crash out if the Trump administration used his songs. Like, that would be so easy.
So is a point to have them lash out so then your reel gets more views, and then what?
And yeah, that's my point. Is like, what's the best case scenario here? Like, the pop star in question says that they don't want you to use their songs, and then you keep doing it and that's like cool.
I've got a place where we can get this information. If you would direct your attention to the screen, I have the Wikipedia for musicians who oppose Donald Trump.
There are plenty of them.
There are plenty to pick from here. We've got ABBA, we've got Adele, Aerosmith, Andrew Lloyd Webber. Wait, is that the guy who did Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat? Was that him?
I'm not sure.
The Animals, the Beatles, Beyonce. He could be doing a Beyonce reel. Bruce Springsteen. That could have coincided with that documentary that nobody watched because Bruce Springsteen is boring.
Right.
Creedence Clearwater Revival. Then conservatives could argue about whether Fortunate Son was a pro-American song or not. Earth, Wind, Fire, Eddie Grant, Elton John. But Elton John has later since come out and said that he actually kind of enjoys Trump, even if he disagrees with him. Remember, we talked about that a long time ago.
He's British, so it's kind of not his concern.
Yeah.
Look,
Lots
here's the thing.
People here.
All of these listed artists are listed here because, I would assume, their songs were used at Trump rallies.
Yes.
Trump events. Not on TikTok.
Yeah, but they could pull
on
from
TikTok,
this.
what they have to do is use trending audios to get more engagement. The trending audios on TikTok are going to be songs that are relevant to Gen Z. Songs by Taylor Swift, Olivia Rodrigo, and the like. Not by, like, Earth, Wind, Fire. That's not what Gen Z listens to or cares about.
Pharrell is on here. Panic at the Disco. He could go into his emo era.
If he wants to, like, trigger the
maybe that's what JD Vance will have to do.
Geriatric emos.
JD Vance will have to do that because he's become an emo meme.
Yeah. I did like their MySpace page.
Yes.
I had to give them kudos for that. But I wanted to point out that Swifties and Olivia Rodrigo fans are kind of mad at Taylor Swift right now. They think that she ought to comment on this and that her silence is violence. In fact, one of these replies said Taylor Swift's silence on this is sickening to watch. And then to the counter argument that she can't do anything about it, they said the 22-year-old non-white pop star with 2 albums released, Olivia Rodrigo, has more backbone than the one with a career almost 2 decades long and the most successful tour of all time. She doesn't care because it doesn't affect her. It's simple. Because Taylor Swift is white.
Correct.
So they're saying that she's secretly MAGA. She's secretly a Trumpy.
Well, she's a trad wife now, right?
And her silence on this matter is proof that she is an unethical billionaire.
They never really explain where the cutoff is for ethical billionaires. Mm-hmm. I'm waiting for more information on that. I would like to know what makes somebody an ethical versus an unethical billionaire.
But like, I just don't understand what difference they think it would make for Taylor Swift to disavow the Trump TikTok page.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't do
on any
anything.
level. Like, what is that like going to help anybody that's getting deported? Like, no.
Yeah, I just think if you're a musician and you're an artist, like people should just be allowed to use your music, even if it's the president of the United States.
That's kind of the point of having a record label. You don't own your music.
Actually, the funnier version of this is that Trump gets in trouble because they downloaded the song illegally because they didn't want to pay for it.
This is actually the biggest lie of Taylor Swift's career. She tries to convince people that she is just a ditzy girl who writes songs in her bedroom like a teenager and she doesn't understand how the music industry works. She absolutely does. She knows much better than she wants to let on.
No,
that
she's a business mogul.
Her music never
you don't
did
just end
belong
up that
to her. Her music still doesn't belong to her because she has a record label. That's how it works.
I thought she bought her music though.
She bought her discography on the original recordings from, I believe, Shamrock Capital, who came into ownership of it. But she wanted people to believe that those masters were stolen from her, when in reality they never belonged to her in the first place. The first time that they were ever in ownership of Taylor Swift was when she bought them, like earlier this year, last year, whatever it was. I think that it would just make no sense for her to say, like, stop using my songs when they're not hers. Like, all of the new music she's putting out also doesn't belong to her.
I mean, but I'd have to double check. Like, all the articles, can you explain how that works? Because all of the articles say that she now owns every song she's ever made.
She owns the songs that she purchased from Shamrock Capital.
I mean, but she likely owns the songs now, too, but she's licensing them out to the record label.
Is that her deal?
That, like,
It says, well, ChatGPT says she owns some of her music, but not all of it.
what is the stuff that she doesn't own?
the new stuff is what she doesn't own.
She fully owns her later albums released under her new deal with Republic Records and Universal Music Group. So anything from 2019 to 2024.
Oh, okay.
She
I was
owns
under the
everything from
impression-
Lover onward, plus all of her re-recorded Taylor version albums.
Even that
Well,
seems
that's
out
not
of
up to
date.
date.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I think that what it is that she licenses them out to these record labels, and she does actually own the masters.
I mean,
and
does
all
she
this
even
stuff
really
now.
need a recording label now? She could probably do
No,
I mean,
she
it's-
does not. She
I
does
mean,
not.
she still does. I mean, in the sense that she needs somebody to do the promo and the art, and
Look, if she wanted-
she employs hundreds of people.
If she wanted to actually be independent, she absolutely has the means to do that. She could absolutely.
But I'm
do
saying, like, the thing is if it's easier for her to license out to a label that wants to work with her than it is to do it all from scratch on her own.
It says, no, Taylor Swift does not own a record label, but she has a multi-album deal with Republic Records.
that. At the moment, yeah, that's her current deal.
Yeah.
One of these Swifties replied and said, people are hating on Taylor more than celebs that have actually endorsed Trump. I hope she stays silent. Y'all can stew in your hatred. She will always do something wrong in
Well,
your
no,
eyes.
see, the problem is when you require people to speak on issues like this, it turns people that actually do want to make you look bad into, it gives them a lot of ammunition, meaning that somebody who doesn't like, it's what I say every time Woody Allen makes some comment about somebody. He's like, oh man, I love that Woody Allen comes on whenever somebody dies. And he's like, this person was great. It's like, bro, you're hurting them by saying that. Like, you're not helping anybody by saying that, because the public has a perception of you that isn't going to help whoever this person is.
Well, maybe she's taking her cues more from Sydney Sweeney and Jennifer Lawrence and deciding not to like pick a political side or talk about politics anymore.
Yeah.
And not even talk about the fact that she's not talking about it either.
Right.
I just think
focus on the wedding. Focus on the wedding.
The Trump administration, trying desperately to rage bait these pop stars is more cringy than anything, honestly.
Agreed.
Because like, focus on actually deporting people, not posting TikToks. Like, that would be nice.
I mean, I agree, but those are different departments. Like, it's like I tend to be more that it's a bad look, because it shows you that government is now juvenile, and it has been for a very long time. But in general, just because they've got somebody with a clipboard, a gay with a clipboard making hype reels for them, does not mean that people aren't going to get deported. That person wouldn't be doing that job. Like, they didn't take an ICE agent and say, hey, normally we'd send you out on a raid, but instead we're going to have you edit this hype reel.
No, I know that it's not mutually exclusive, but I'm just saying, based on the reported numbers of deportations, they're obviously focusing more of their efforts in the direction of social media.
But this is how you shift the public opinion for that. I get them.
No, the TikTok hype reels only serve to anger your opposition, not bolster your
I feel
support.
like they're just hiring Gen Z social media content people who probably don't get paid much
Opinions
and have nothing really to do with ICE
So
raids.
we've talked about how opinions on politics. What do they always say? Like the right, like the Gen Z right wing and beyond is going to be way further right than any prior generation. How do you think it gets there? It gets there through content like this.
We have a couple from Shane H. Wilder. You can get a blanket license from BMI, which covers most artists' licensing. This is why they couldn't stop Trump from playing music while campaigning. What the artists don't say is that when their music's played, they get paid. True.
Or if they did say it, they'd be forced to donate it to charity.
Yeah. Pop Culture Junkie said, what makes the Taylor Swift rights issue complicated is there are 3 kinds of rights involved: the actual written compositions, the performance rights, the rights to the recorded songs. Yeah. And I think that's something that Taylor Swift understands, but she tries to get one over on her own fans.
Because it's such a complicated thing, and it's easy to form a narrative around it.
Yes, she formed a narrative that essentially made her into a victim.
Okay. All right. What would you like to see, cringe or cute?
Let's see the cringe first.
How bad is today's? Like, particularly?
You always have to cleanse your palate.
It's pretty bad. I need to give context, though.
Okay.
So this is a video of a consultation with a professional matchmaker, and what you're about to see is this woman listing off all of her requirements for her potential husband.
Okay, here we go.
Level that I perform at.
So one of the things that you mentioned was that you were looking forward to, and correct me if I'm wrong, becoming manager or managing director of your law firm. And right now, from what I'm aware, through the person that gifted this to you, you are lead receptionist.
Yes.
What is going on?
And it's not chasing a dream. There's a lot of boxes that need to be ticked. I know this man is out there. And it's just a matter of finding him.
So somebody paid for this consultation as a gift?
I assume so.
7-figure salary.
Right.
Already said morning routine.
Yes.
That includes some sort of exercise with group accountability.
What does that mean?
As well as some sort of very high nutrition, I'm going to say smoothie.
Word salad.
At least 5'10". I feel like that's generous. I need him to.
That was very, like, not requiring 6 feet was like,
be
we got a
obviously in
saint
very
here.
good shape. I need him to have a full head of hair. That's very important to me.
Okay.
Be a Christian, but not take it too seriously. Like, I don't want to have to go to church every Sunday, but I don't want to get into fights over religion either.
Sure, of course.
I want him to have an impeccable wardrobe. I want his suits to be tailored.
Okay.
Is there like a box that he has to check while doing this that says that he owns tailored suits?
Yeah, I guess so.
I want him to look good in greens and blues because those are
I'm out. That's too bad. It's a good thing I'm married because I'm out.
complementary to what I look good in. Absolutely no jewelry.
Okay.
Absolutely no tattoos.
Okay.
Never been married. No kids. I want to be his first wife. Our children are going to be his only children.
Mm-hmm.
No allergies. Has to like animals. I would prefer that he's a cat person, but if he's a dog person, that's okay.
Oh, she's willing to compromise.
That's really good. Meanwhile, she looks like Martin Freeman's.
Oh no!
She looks like Martin
she
Freeman.
does look like Martin Freeman.
Someone said Whoville in the comments.
Oh no! Yeah, I guess that hairstyle is really not for her.
Wow. What's going on back
matchmaker-
there? Is it like a bow or?
Yeah, the matchmaker just like trying to hold in laughter.
It's like
the
Martin
whole time.
Freeman and Elijah Wood.
No allergies was a random one, but I was like, okay, go
I can
on.
see that. You don't want your partner to be sneezing all the time.
She doesn't want to have to carry an EpiPen.
Like
just
if
in case.
you like eat peanuts and have a seizure, like that's an ick.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah.
That's
well,
that's.
because if you're allergic to peanuts, then you can't have peanuts in the room at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's like, then we can't like nowhere with peanut oil. We're not gonna be able to get Chinese food ever. Like I'm out.
You're gonna be
Yeah.
a problem on the airplane.
That is relationship ending.
That's a fair point because I had my like severe allergic reaction that almost killed me like a week before my wedding. So that was a real test
Yeah.
for Olivia. She didn't get the ick when I almost died. So when I passed out and nearly died.
Right. Yeah.
Oh goodness! All right.
Wow.
I think looking good in greens and blues was the highlight.
I need an
there.
update on that.
Yeah,
Like,
did
how
she
that
ever
go?
find her man's?
I can't tell if the other lady is the ass queen slaying or like this bitch is delusional.
No, I'm sure the professional matchmaker people just come across the most delusional people in society.
Well, it makes me think of the movie Materialist.
Yeah,
Which
exactly.
I didn't mind the movie too much because I liked the matchmaking aspect of it.
It's interesting, but it didn't focus that much on the clients.
Oh yeah, the love interest thing was
and then
weird.
ultimately, like the movie was quite depressing.
Yeah, like
so.
she picked the wrong guy.
I
I mean, I
agree.
wouldn't have picked Pedro Pascal either.
I mean, I don't
but-
like Pedro Pascal, but his character, like, he was a solid guy.
Yeah.
I do. I
She's like,
agree.
no, I want the starving actor who has a beat up car. And...
Well, it's like we talked.
Yeah, and not
about-
only is he poor, but he's a jerk about the
Yeah.
fact that he's poor,
Yeah.
which makes it worse. Like,
and he was like sour.
he's a
sad
weird
the whole
sense
time.
of like superiority about being poor, like strange.
Well, we're going to talk about it in a later segment. If he's busy at work, how's she going to spend time with him?
Right.
We've got Cute of the Day. Here it is from Frostback. Love that name. Got my coffee finally. Thank you. We have her, we call her Polly since she spends her time on my shoulders after work.
Aw, very
So
cute.
cute.
Let me go widescreen
With
so
the
you can see
Mary's
the-
Ghost
with the Ghost
blend.
blend.
Love it. That's the best advertising I could ask for.
That is right
Adorbs.
there. That is
Thank you for
very
the
good.
endorsement.
All right, guys, let's move on. We got more to get into.
So with all of the press that Sydney Sweeney has been doing, I guess everyone missed what exactly she was promoting. She was doing all of these interviews recently for her new movie, Christy, which is a biopic of a female boxer named Christy Martin, based on the true story of her life. And it's what I would call certified art slop. It's an activist movie. It's really highlighting the aspect of domestic violence, survivorship. And the movie debuted in theaters this weekend and performed horribly. So now the left wants to take credit for the underperformance of this movie by claiming that they are boycotting it. I had to call BS on that because I think it would have bombed regardless.
This movie was going to bomb either way.
Christy opened to 1.3 million at the domestic box office. It is now marked top 10 worst opening weekend ever for a film in over 2,000 theaters. Made an average of $646 per theater. And it is true, it's in the leaderboard for worst opening weekends of all time.
I do have the list that we put together, that somebody put here together with the list of, these are all, from what I can tell, theaters, all of these cross the 2,000 theater threshold. So they use that as like a editing factor here.
Yes.
You have to take out these 2020 re-releases and these 10th anniversary re-releases. It doesn't count. At this point now, they just re-release movies in there as they get closer to $1 billion. They just re-release them every so often. But
so if you discount the specific IMAX screenings of Dune Part 1, if you discount the 10th anniversary release of Saw and the 2020 re-release of Toy Story, Christy sits at, I believe, number 9 for worst box office opening weekend of all time, excluding the pandemic. And now it's being reported by certain biased outlets, such as Discussing Film, that the Christy biopic is being overshadowed by Sydney Sweeney's recent controversies in the media. They said, while she is the heart of Christy, she remains the elephant in the room when it comes to many discussions surrounding the project. Off screen, she is riddled with controversy, especially following the American Eagle ad.
there are no discussions around the project, so they're wrong about that. There are
been
discussions around her. There are
swept-
no discussions about Christy.
As they put it, swept up in a larger culture war in which Donald Trump even weighed in, claiming her as a Republican sex symbol. It might be difficult to sit down and watch an entire film with Sweeney at its center without a bitter taste in one's mouth. This is intellectually dishonest.
The Smashing Machine had The Rock in it, who's supposedly still the biggest movie star of all time, Flopalopolis. Also, I saw somebody else. Yes, the Bruce Springsteen movie. I thought everybody loved these biopics. Now, no, nobody cares.
Right.
These types of movies don't do it. It's everyone tells me they want new stuff. People don't want new stuff. They want slop. They want regurgitated sequel slop. That's what people want. That's why Predator Badlands did halfway decent, I guess, this weekend. Because it's slop based off like a property that already exists.
I pointed out that it's primarily because nobody knows or cares about this lesbian boxer from the 90s. And biopics in general are underperforming, and there's a huge oversaturation of them. And I noted that Sydney Sweeney's biggest and perhaps only real box office success in her career was Anyone But You with Glenn Powell, a rom-com whose primary audience was female. And we would like to see more of that from Sydney Sweeney in the future and less of this prestige drama, activist, art slop
It's
genre.
at odds with her personality.
Yeah, I mean, I would say she relies more on her brand deals and her own star power than her movies to remain relevant and to get a paycheck. So I think that it's very intentional on her part that she chooses projects that tend not to perform well because she believes in them. I believe she's also a producer on Christy, so she put her own weight behind the movie, and she recently shared a statement on Instagram about the box office criticism. She said, "I'm so deeply proud of this movie, proud of the film David made, proud of the story we told, proud to represent someone as strong and resilient as Christy Martin. This experience has been one of the greatest honors of my life. The film stands for survival, courage, and hope. Through our campaigns, we've helped raise awareness for so many affected by domestic violence. We all signed on to this film with the belief that Christy's story could save lives. Thank you to everyone who saw, felt, and believed and will believe in this story for years to come. If Christy gave even one woman the courage to take her first step towards safety, then we will have succeeded. So yes, I'm proud. Why? Because we don't always just make art for numbers. We make it for impact. And Christy has been one of the most impactful projects of my life. Thank you, Christy. I love you."
Okay, so there's a lot to unpack with that. First of all, I don't know. I guess you could say that this is award show slop and that it's supposed to win awards. But they don't make movies, at least the people who greenlight these projects and actually give you the money don't make movies to help people. They make movies because supposedly helping people can be good publicity to hopefully make them more money. that's not a bad thing. That's just the way these industries work, is that you aren't always going to make your money back necessarily at the box office, but goodwill from audiences can go a long way. But that doesn't mean that they're out there. Maybe the actors are out there to supposedly help other people, but pessimistic me says that's not really true at all either. I would say most of them are out there to raise their own public profile. But then you have to have the discussion is like, do intentions matter? In that case, most people would say no. The amount of people they help is what matters, not necessarily whether the actor cared a lot or not.
Well, in fact, making an impact is not at odds with making a profit. In fact, you kind of need both in order to make an impact. Literally, in the absolute numbers of people who pay to see your movie and are impacted by the story, you need to have something that's commercially successful in order to make an impact on a large audience.
Correct.
She's kind of saying that they never intended to make money off of this movie, and it was known that it would be a loss from the beginning.
Well, then it should have just went straight to streaming.
Yeah, I don't know what the
she's
purpose
at odds
of
with
releasing
that.
it theatrically would be in that case. And, you know, I guess we should mention, of course, that the US box office has had its worst October this year in 27 years, excluding the pandemic. So it's not just because of Sydney Sweeney. It's not just because of biopics or all these other factors. It is just generally true that people are going to the theaters less.
You should watch my video of that on this channel.
Yeah, that has a lot to do with the economy. But, you know, you can point to other examples of similar movies that did perform better. Challengers is one you reminded me of off air before we started the show, starring Zendaya. I didn't see it, but it was made on I believe a $55 million budget and made a total of $96 million worldwide. Christy, on the other hand, was made with an estimated $30 to $40 million budget and has now made $1.3 million on its opening weekend, which is objectively bad.
It's terrible.
Again, Sydney Sweeney doesn't seem to care about being in commercially successful films. So if this is the trade-off that she wants to make, that's fine. That also includes, from just this year, Eden, which nobody watched, cared about, or talked about. And then Americana, which was an ensemble cast that also did terribly at the box office. Her only box office success so far has been Anyone But You. And they said they released it in theaters so that it would make more of an impact culturally.
Well, that's what they did Anyone But You in the theaters for. Glenn Powell seems to be on the same path, at least as far as choosing projects that aren't Marvel movies, but he seems to be a lot more discerning about which way he goes with his projects. He's got The Running Man coming out, which will probably do okay at the box office.
Well, Anyone But You probably did good because there was rumors that they were dating, right?
That also, the showmance played into the hype for it. And some of the Sydney Sweeney haters in my replies were saying that Glenn Powell was the draw for the rom-com. Would you agree with that, Brett? Or
I mean, his that was in 2023, so that
Yes.
was coming right off of Top Gun Maverick, which was the year before. So his profile had been raised at that point. He also did Hitman at that time, which I really, really liked, but that doesn't really connect to this other than that being a good movie. And he's, you know, and then he went from there to Twisters. His track record is objectively better.
Right.
As far as successes.
And some other people also blamed the underperformance of Christy on the fact that Sydney Sweeney underwent this physical transformation for the role. And they think that if she looked hotter, basically, in the movie, that it would have done better. Which is probably true. But it wouldn't be true to the story that they were telling. Brittany Hugaboom pointed out, most of Sydney Sweeney's acting roles aren't bombshell girl. That's her red carpet persona. She acts because she loves the craft. Financially, she's much more effective in ad campaigns than she is as a name that can bring ticket goers to the theaters, especially since last month was an all-time low for cinema. It's like when no one cared that Taylor Swift was in The Giver, but it certainly doesn't mean she can't sell out tours. We don't have a movie star generation like millennials did, watching Tom Cruise and Angelina Jolie. The last traditional celebrities are probably Selena Gomez, Miley Cyrus, Demi Lovato, and the Disney era. The celebrity generation has been replaced by the influencer generation, and YouTube gets more watch time than streaming platforms.
Well, I do think she is a bombshell girl, and that's what she needs to lean into when she takes those roles. You know?
I think that she wants to make money off of her own name rather than her projects at the moment. And she's hoping that in the decades to come, people will look back through her body of work and respect that she was more dedicated to telling impactful stories than making money. She clearly cares about going into more of a production role in the future rather than just acting with her production company. So I believe this is all part of her 5D chess plan for her career. She definitely is the type to have like a vision board and a PowerPoint presentation on hand.
I mean, that's at odds with her public persona, though, which doesn't endear her to the people that she wants to go watch these movies, because she's not making these movies for people on the right. She's making these movies for letterboxed users and art house nerds who are objectively not all, a majority of which I would assume are very much left-leaning.
I would love to know what movies she likes and where she draws inspiration from, because she could be a closeted letterboxed account.
Wasn't she supposed to do what was that movie with Pamela Anderson? Barbarella? What was that one movie? She was going to make one of those ones that was supposed to lean into
Oh, I heard reports about that, but maybe that didn't end up panning out.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, it's funnier if it is, because they said she's not making, like, MAGA people didn't show up to her movie, and she clearly doesn't care. She's making the movies. She's subsidizing her work with her off-screen persona. Glenn Powell is definitely on the better track. Somebody did mention Devotion. Devotion, from what I understand, was a really good movie. I did not see it, but people really, really liked that movie. But it did not make a lot of money because it came out in 2022.
It does sound like it is in development, Barbarella.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
With Sydney Sweeney.
Okay.
Maybe
Well, there you
that'll
go.
be her second box office hit then.
You know, or if she takes that Bond girl role that they were talking about, because she's
Possibly,
been
if
cozying up
that's
to
in the works for Bezos. Yeah. Variety, by the way, is getting slammed for their reporting on Christy's flop at the box office. They said Christy, featuring Sydney Sweeney as the boxing trailblazer, Christy Martin debuted with 1.3 million. The R-rated sports drama is the first theatrical release from Black Bear Pictures. No editorializing, no tastemaking, nothing in that headline says anything about the underperformance of the movie or why that happened. But they compared it with the report about Sinners from back in April. Variety said, Sinners has amassed 61 million in its global debut. It's a great result for an original R-rated horror film, yet the Warner Brothers release has a $90 million price tag before global marketing expenses, so profitability remains a ways away.
There was definitely a lot of backlash around that.
Yeah, Variety was getting dragged back in April for writing that headline because I guess people thought it was racist and holding Sinners to a double standard because it comes from a black filmmaker.
And funnily enough, I addressed this in my video today about the difference between an influencer and an actor, and I brought up Michael B. Jordan, who takes his cues from Denzel Washington, who said spend less time on social media because they're going to be more likely to go see your movies if they see less of you online.
Well, maybe Sydney Sweeney is pioneering
a
new hybrid between an influencer and an actor.
My point was that men and women have to approach it differently.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Meaning the men in Hollywood should step back from social media and the women shouldn't?
I mean, when it comes to leading men, there, an air of mystery is good.
I would say that's true of all of them, really.
My point was that women have an easier time in monetizing social media.
True.
So,
true.
Just my opinion. All right, let's go to some super chats.
Shane H. Wilder said, Happy Monday, Brett and Mary. All of my filming is done. I'm officially in post-production on the Christmas short. Get ready for Santa Phil in December. That's exciting. And we're going to re-chill 2 weeks till Christmas when that comes. Shane H. Wilder said, I almost forgot I did some BTS photos. Okay.
I think I did see them. Let's do one more.
Rural Conservative said, 50 years ago today, the Edmund Fitzgerald sank. I don't know enough about history.
Today in history.
Clearly.
Oh.
Do one more.
Corey Anderson said, how come Alex doesn't have her husband's last name?
Oh.
They will get very personal with you.
Oh, paperwork? No.
Yeah, you just tell them if you don't want to answer, you just flick them on the nose. You go, mind your business.
How do you even know that?
Yeah.
Poo.
There you go. That was the perfect answer. All right, let's move on.
So, country star Kelsea Ballerini just released this new song titled I Sit in Parks, and she has a predominantly female fan base that found this incredibly emotionally impactful for them. I'm seeing tons of comments on her music video saying that they're just crying and they're absolutely perclamped over this song. And it's because the meaning of the song is that Kelsea Ballerini is questioning the stage in life that she's at. After having a lot of success in her career, she remains unmarried and childless. And she is talking about observing families and mothers and feeling this sort of envy for where they're at in life compared to her. She wonders if mothers look at her and sometimes envy the freedom that she has. And she is expressing this anxiety about her biological clock. So here were some of the lyrics. I sit in parks, it breaks my heart because I see just how far I am from the things that I want. Dad brought the picnic, Mom brought the sunscreen, 2 kids are laughing and crying on red swings. We look about the same age, but we don't have the same Saturdays. Did I miss it? By now, is it a lucid dream? Is it my fault for chasing things a body clock doesn't wait for? I did the damn tour. It's what I wanted, what I got. I spun around and then I stopped and wondered if I missed the mark. So I sit in parks, sunglasses dark, and I hit the vape, hallucinate a nursery with Noah's Ark. They lay on a blanket and he loves her. I wonder if she wants my freedom like I want to be a mother. Rolling Stone says I'm on the right road, so I refill my Lexapro. And then at the very end, in the outro of the song, she names this this colleague, friend of hers named Taryn, who is pregnant. She said, Taryn's due in June, the album's due in March. So in a way, it's like her music is her surrogate child. And she doesn't feel truly fulfilled by that at the end of the day. And she's expressing that she intentionally delayed having a family in order to prioritize her work. But there are a lot of people who have very little in common with Kelsea Ballerini commenting on this, saying that it's super relatable. One comment said, as a single girl in her 30s, I've never related to a song more. Another one said, I'm 33 and dearly hoping to be married and a mom someday. Seeking to trust God's timing and praying for discernment on how to continue to put myself out there. If I knew what to do differently in dating, I would be doing it. In the meantime, seeking to live a life of joy. Thank you, Kelsea, for putting words to so many of our heart's desires and the ache that comes for wishing for the next life season while knowing it's not promised. And another one said, hitting 38, I felt this song. And then a lot of women who have struggles with infertility as well, feeling really impacted by it. And it is sad to see women share all of these accounts of, you know, how they imagined a different path in life and it didn't work out the way they planned. However, when I heard this song and read through the lyrics, I wanted to know what Kelsea Ballerini's path looked like prior to writing the song. And I kind of did a deep dive on her background. So it turns out that Kelsea Ballerini actually has been married before, and she initiated a divorce from her husband in 2022. She got married in 2017 to this fellow country singer named Morgan Evans, who, by the way, is Australian, much like Keith Urban. And
it's really their fault.
They were together for a total of 5 years before she divorced him. And she has been incredibly open about why their relationship broke down. And it basically boils down to, he didn't make enough time for me, which I think is incredibly naive. Everything she said about her missed expectations for marriage clue you in to the fact that she had no idea what marriage ought to look like in the first place and probably was deeply unprepared for what it required of her, including mutual sacrifice. And once there just wasn't that spark, once the spark faded and they were actually in the middle of living life together, it just wasn't what she hoped for. And she was hoping for this like Barbie dream house love story rom-com in real life. And when it didn't work out that way and they both had their own careers to focus on, she felt like she wasn't his priority. And there's this one story that she tells. She's like really struggling and she says, you know, my therapist told me that communication is key. So I texted my husband saying, I'm really struggling right now. And then a link to a flight. Take this flight and come home. I need you to be with me right now. He was on tour at the time, so he couldn't come home. And so he did not take the flight. And then she said that was the moment I knew the relationship was beyond saving. That was the last straw.
Oh boy.
So what they want is somebody that makes the money of a country singer, but has the free time of somebody. You know, it's exactly like what you were just talking about in The Materialist. You choose the person who has the most time for you, even if they're a total mess.
Yeah, exactly. Women seem to want a guy who can be a provider, but none of the responsibilities that come with that.
We had this whole discussion, I think last week. We were talking about the trope in movies where the woman has a stable husband who's at work all the time, and she's like, no, I'm going to go find this emotionally unavailable loser who just happens to be fun and spontaneous.
Right.
Well, stability is rarely spontaneous.
Yeah. And I also learned that allegedly when they got married, her husband, Morgan Evans, wanted to start a family as soon as they got married. Pretty normal thing to expect. And she was the one who decided they were going to wait. And she insisted on that. She made the decision, we're not going to have kids yet because I need time to dedicate to my career. And she considered freezing her eggs. Her husband at the time advised her not to do that. And she was already
That's because he's controlling.
She was in her 20s. There was no need to do something that drastic. But yeah, you know, he's the controlling, abusive ex, right? And she made this song.
He sounds like a great Hallmark villain.
She had this song that was playing on the idea that, you know, when a couple are driving away from their wedding, the car says like just married. And she says, once it was love, then it was just married.
It's pretty clever.
She clearly has a lot of lingering resentments about the end of that relationship. She got into a new relationship, I believe in 2023, with this actor named Chase Stokes, who is on Outer Banks. And I wasn't paying that close attention to their relationship, but I noticed that a lot of women were drawing comparisons between them and Taylor Swift and Travis Kelsey. And they were like, you know, these types of relationships are so important to be in the public eye so that you can teach men that they need to be supportive cheerleaders on the sidelines of the lives of their wives and girlfriends, and just sit there with a foam finger cheering for everything we do as women, or else they're not good enough. And don't settle until you found a Travis Kelsey or a Chase Stokes, ladies. Turns out Kelsea Ballerini and Chase Stokes broke up just 2 months ago.
Which I didn't even know. But yeah, they were everywhere. You would see videos of them. She was on stage and he was just there clapping.
They were very
for her.
public about their relationship, and all these women like idolized it.
Did she show up and clap for him?
Well, he's an actor, so.
Well, did she go to? I mean, there must have been premieres. Did she go and clap?
Look, I was just saying, if Kelsea Ballerini, also a touring musician, were on tour and her husband texted her a flight and said, I'm crying at home, come home. Would she have come home from tour for him? I don't think so.
Well, maybe she did that and Chase Stokes is like, I'm filming right now.
Right. There's always something that life gets in the way of, you know, your life being a movie sometimes.
Right.
And that's.
Or don't like marry actors or musicians.
You could always marry just a regular person who has a regular job that gets them off work at a regular time.
Exactly.
Touring musicians generally should not date each other. But anyway, I bring all of this up to point out that Kelsea Ballerini released this song that's relatable to so many women now. And yet most of these women commenting that, you know, they're still like yearning for this stage in their life where they're married and having kids, were never married to a guy who was wanting to have kids with them in the first place.
Yeah.
Kelsea Ballerini was in that position and she threw it all away because of her own selfish, immature expectations about relationships. and has clearly not exercised any introspection about that. Now we're having all of these conversations about forever girlfriends and prolonged engagements, which led to this op-ed being written in the Telegraph titled, "My ex stole my childbearing years. Does he owe me compensation?"
Is there like a picture of him like absconding with the years themselves?
Yeah.
Like in a little burglar suit on with like a mask?
She said, "I've been in a relationship for just over 10 years with a guy I hoped to marry. He called it off a few months ago. I'm moving from heartbroken and incapable of functioning to trying to work out how to put my life back together. This is how I came to discuss my situation with you. I agreed to write it up as a moral money dilemma because I'm sure other women end up in the same place as I have, and perhaps it will be open. It will help to be open about how I feel and what can be done. My ex and I were not married, but we do own a flat together in which we lived and had been very much a couple for the past 8 years."
So wait, okay, so this is just an aside. Are they like common law married by that point?
Yeah.
I don't know how that works in the
So-
UK.
It depends on this.
Like, are like their finances are now inextricably linked together?
Who knows if they have like a joint bank account or what.
Yeah.
It
But
probably gets confusing in courts.
Yeah. She said, "I thought we had done well and were settled. He tells me he feels at 38 as though he still has a decade of enjoying his lifestyle and powering through his career and is not ready for marriage and children, but he knows it has become a priority for me. So he is off. Here I am at 34, eggs twitching, ready for the marriage and parenthood stage of life, but unexpectedly single and emotionally devastated. I'm tipping into the furious phase of the grief cycle because I feel as though he owes me big time and I want him to pay. He had agreed between us that he would maintain a career trajectory and I would support this because I wanted to be the primary carer when we had children. It meant that he could earn well to support our planned family. It was not an accident that we set up home where his work opportunities were best served. I worked too, but would have been better off in a more central location. When it came to one of us needing to give way because of clashes, it was always me. When work commitments got tough, I picked up a lot of his life administration and domestic responsibilities so he could focus on work. Now I feel like those compromises have left me vulnerable and I'm seeking compensation. However, it seems because we are unmarried and these plans have not been formalized, I have no redress."
Whoa.
You're right. It seems that way, and it is that way. Because he was never involved in any sort of agreement with you. You were just waiting around for close to a decade for someone who is clearly not showing any signs of changing his priorities.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like she's back with Chase.
Oh, well, there was a report like days ago that they were seen holding hands in Croatia, which I'm like, you're a country singer. Why are you in Croatia? But yeah, they might be back on. Who knows? But Kelsea Ballerini now at the age of 32 is in a situation that this 34-year-old perhaps, or many of the women that were commenting on her music video have never been in. Because she was literally the one choosing to delay having kids with a man who wanted kids with her.
Yeah.
I just think that that's kind of misleading the audience to think that they have that much in common with your situation when they really don't.
Does the song specifically address, I already don't remember, I listened to it earlier. Does the song specifically address that it was her choice to wait?
No, but she's spoken openly about it.
Then it's on the
divorce.
audience for not paying close enough attention.
Well, I think that they engage with her music in a way that reflects their own lives, and that's how people engage with music generally.
That's how most people do.
It's not about her. It's something that can be universal to the people listening. But I just think, well, first of all, here's a problem. I don't understand why people listen to music that makes them miserable. We have the problem on our hands where women are listening to music that makes them miserable.
Well, I think
This
women,
is a prime example
they
of that.
want to cry. Maybe
Yes.
sometimes they can't always get it out, so they
There's
need
the
something to encourage
commiseration.
it.
They need to like commiserate with this song. I don't understand it. I listen to music that's like people screaming and like clashing pots and pans on like with like heavy auto-tune. Like that's the type of music I listen to because it makes me happy. I do not listen to depressing music. I will never understand why anyone does. So that's one problem. And they're taking this and using it as a reflection of their own lives when they really shouldn't. That's the point I'm trying to make. And it also seems relevant to bring up this recent clip that's being resurfaced of Stevie Nicks explaining why she got an abortion to focus on her music career. Now, granted, this has no relation to Kelsea Ballerini. She says she never got an abortion for the sake of her career, but possibly narratives like this one, like you can't have both, are the reason why she felt like she needed to choose one or the other, mutually exclusive.
I got pregnant, and it was like, why? I have an IUD. I am totally protected. I have a great gynecologist. How come this has happened?
So you took all the precautions.
Yes, and I'm like, this can't be happening. Fleetwood Mac is 3 years in, and it's big, and we're going into our third album. It was like, oh, no, 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 no. It would have destroyed Fleetwood.
If you had a baby.
Absolutely. Because many reasons. I would have like tried my best to get through, you know, being in the studio every single day, expecting a child, but mostly having a child with Don Henley would not have gone over big in Fleetwood Mac with Lindsay and me, who had been broken up for years. It would have been a nightmare scenario for me to live through.
Yeah, but think of all the great music that could have been written about it.
About
having a child.
About having a child and all of the drama. It could have led to amazing music.
Right. Yeah. The thing is, like, you'll never know what would have been a nightmare for Fleetwood Mac because you didn't have the baby. You know, that's just you thinking that you have a crystal ball into the future when you don't.
Mm-hmm.
And now, I mean, Kelsea Ballerini, granted, she did not get an abortion for the sake of her music career, but she did self-admittedly delay having a family for her music career and has clearly surmised that that was the wrong trade-off to make, and now is publicly processing that in front of the whole world.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think part of it is just that people tend to self-identify with artists in ways that aren't realistic. Like they're identifying with her music, and you can't really actually have. It's actually not about how the music reflects on her. It's more about how the music reflects on you, because you can't know her story anyways. Mm-hmm. That's why artists should refrain from commenting on what a song or a movie means. You know, like Depeche Mode doesn't talk about what any of their songs mean. The only one they've ever acknowledged the meaning to was the song Precious, and it was about their child. And other than that, they leave it open to your own interpretation, because how you experience a song, whether it's depressing or not, often plays a huge role in what you perceive it to be. So leave it open-ended so people can decide whether Kelsea Ballerini's stupid song in a park has any practical relevance to their life. And I guess I'd rather see people listening to this than, you know, the typical
clashing and banging.
I thought you were going to say like pumped up kicks. You're like, I like happy music. Like
I think
pumped up.
Mary,
that too.
I think you need a little dashboard confessionals.
No.
In your life.
Hawthorne Heights.
That's the best.
Miss me with that. I don't want to cry when I'm listening to music. I mean, that goes for all of the songs that Kelsea Ballerini wrote about her divorce as well. Tons of women commenting about how it means so much to them with their own divorces that they went through. And I'll just say, if you are dating anybody who thinks the way Kelsea Ballerini thinks about marriage, run, don't walk. Huge red flag.
And the guy from the article, the guy who waited 10 years to tell her, you know what,
And
I'm gonna
that
do
guy.
this. He's like, you know what?
Also a red flag.
He's like, silver hair is in now. I got another 10 years out of this. Like,
Yeah,
good
no.
riddance.
No, cut it short.
Okay. All right. Let's move on.
Shane H. Wilder said, "Hi, Alex. Sorry you were not in the show notes." Stares at Brett. As for the coffee, there might or might not be bags going under the tree this year. Oh. You mean you're buying it for family?
Yes.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
So Toast has been going under the Christmas tree and is yet to destroy anything, which we are very excited about.
Your tree's up?
Oh.
We-
is it a real tree?
It's not a real tree.
Oh,
No. It's a little tree, but Toast spends a lot of time under there and manages to not knock anything over. But Olivia has a good formula about strategic placement of ornaments so that nothing is hanging too low and nothing is at like a height that's going to tempt the cat to get up on their legs and claw at it. She's got it down to a science.
I don't understand why people are so dogmatically anti fake tree these days.
Yeah.
Like,
I used to always have a fake tree.
I don't want a bunch of sap and straw all over my floor.
It smells nice.
It is hard to. Yeah, that was literally what I was gonna say. It's like the smell is what you want to replicate.
Get a
and-
candle.
They
Candle
do
does
make
the same
sense
thing.
now.
Candle does the job.
And then
It's
you
fine.
light the candle, you put it under the tree, and it starts the plastic tree on fire, and your home goes up. And
Just wait until Maha starts their campaign against plastic
Oh,
Christmas
don't even.
trees.
No, they'll start it again because they're already against candles. Because like so many of the
Right,
candles, I remember
right,
like a couple
yeah.
years ago, they're like, yeah, if you buy a candle from Walmart, you're basically committing like
You're giving yourself cancer.
You're gonna give yourself cancer, and it's gonna turn you gay.
It's
That's what
actually
they were
kind
saying.
of true. Like, I'm not a crunchy, but I would not burn a Yankee candle in my home. Actually, now that I have the information.
Look,
So
I
fake
g-
tree, no candle.
I gave
Yeah.
up the soda. I gave up the flavored water. I'm keeping my cancer candle. Okay, you
The
can't
question
make
is,
me get rid of it.
when do you put your Christmas tree up?
I haven't for the past couple of years
Oh,
because I
really?
don't have a lot of space for one. But
We normally do it after Thanksgiving. That's
Mm-hmm.
when we did it last year, but we had a specific reason. I don't know if I ever released the video, so I guess I want to address what it was. But we had a reason for doing it early this year, and I like it. It makes the living room look more homey.
Cozy.
The
Yeah.
problem is, however, we have icicle lights in our apartment, as one does. And the thing is, we have 3 sets that it takes to like circle a room. 2 of them are really, really good ones made for like that we got at Target, and I think the third one was like we got at Walmart or something else, and it flickers. It's like it looks bad to the eye. It's not quite the same shade as the other one, and it makes you feel like you're kind of like you're actually like your vision is poor because it's flickering just a tiny bit. It's actually probably something they use in torture methods with prisoners.
You got them at TJ Maxx, didn't you?
Probably.
I have
It's
to
not
ask,
unlikely.
are you, both of you, on the team of colored Christmas lights
Yes.
or the yellowy white ones
On the tree,
on the tree? Yeah.
Colored.
we did colored ones growing up.
Okay.
I think we did both, honestly.
Colored lights and like flickery, like half flickery.
Okay. I don't like colored lights on trees.
It's very like old school.
I know I'm a
think.
joy kill for that, but I just don't like the rainbow lights.
Yeah,
Is it because it's rainbow?
Because
No.
it's woke. Rainbow lights are
so-
woke.
Now
No.
Christmas tree.
I
It's
could
not- it's
literally
not my vibe.
see Mary being like, "Look, this is a monochrome home, and you're not bringing."
Look, you can
your...
have the green tree. That's enough color.
I used to do a white fake Christmas tree with the white lights, and that's really nice too.
I like a white tree.
Do
Yeah, me too.
one more.
Rural conservative said yes, it is tax deductible.
There you go for the combine. All right, let's move on.
A TikToker named Nicolette Monroe is currently on a rampage, publicly exposing churches, over 40 of them at this point, for not sending her money. She is calling up church offices asking for money for her starving baby because she is allegedly a poor mother who cannot afford baby formula. This is at least the story that she is telling them. She's even gone to the length of playing a recording in the background of the phone call of a baby crying to make it more convincing to the people that she's calling. So she's calling all of these grandmas that volunteered to answer the phones at different parishes and trying to run a smear campaign on any church that doesn't immediately agree to basically cash app her money, no questions asked. And when they are perhaps directing her to local charities or affiliated charities with their church, or even asking her any background information about her situation, she is using that as fodder for a campaign against them. And now all of these churches are like getting review bombed online, which is, it's just insane that you can review a church on the
She
internet.
did come out with a video that says stop doing that, to actually put a positive review and just like make a suggestion of how they can do better.
See, like, that sounds nice, but I think her real motivation here is just a smear campaign because she knew exactly how people would react to this. This viral tweet
There's a reason.
says
There's a reason
lady-
it's happening during SNAP benefit.
Of course, yeah.
Yes.
There's a lady on TikTok calling churches saying she needs help buying formula for her baby just to see if they actually help their communities. She's called 20 plus places, and so far only a mosque and a tiny church in Appalachia have offered to help. And that was
I actually sent you
a handful
some
of days
stats.
ago. That was a handful of days ago that was tweeted. Now it's at over 40 churches that she has posted in this series. And it's not just a mosque and that one church that offered to help. There are several. In fact, someone pointed out that she is misrepresenting the results. One Catholic parish called Our Lady of Fatima did agree to help and then called back to make sure after she told them it was an experiment. So she did not honestly report on that one. And I just want to show her part 1 of this series that started at the end of October, where she explains why she's doing this.
Okay, hold on here. Yep. And brace your eardrums because I don't know how loud this is.
Yeah, it might be.
I am calling your
Hold on.
I am calling your church to test to see if they are willing to help feed a hungry baby. So far, I've already called 2 churches. Neither one of them were willing to help feed a baby. And honestly, I'm not even a church. And if somebody called me needing to feed a baby, I wouldn't just hang up the phone. I would find them a resource and get them formula for their baby. So now I'm calling Heritage Hope Church of God in Somerset, Kentucky. And it says that they are the oldest continuing church of God in the state of Kentucky. And over the course of the past 109 years, we've been a part of the spiritual landscape in Somerset. So let's see if they're willing to help feed a hungry baby. It does not state online if they are open or not, so we're just going to call and see.
Heritage Hope Church of God.
Hi, I was wanting to see if you all could help at all. I have a 2-month-old baby, and I ran out of formula last night. I was wanting to see if y'all could help with formula.
Let me see. Give me your name and number.
My name is Nakali, or just Callie, and then my number is 859-353-7777.
7777.
Yes.
It's Kylie. What's your last name, ma'am?
Monroe, Monroe.
Now what exactly are you needing?
I just need the Good Start formula.
Okay. So how much do you need?
I'm not sure. I think I usually have, I think it's maybe $17 at Walmart. I mean, if y'all could just get the formula, I could pick it up or have somebody come get it.
Well, I'm an officer. I never myself, and I'll see if I can get somebody to do this.
Okay.
We can do this. I'll just see. Tell me what it is it's called in case I have to go get it because I'm a great grandpa. I'm not used to picking up phone. Okay. What's it called?
Good Start.
Good Start. And
Sir. Sir.
It's for infants.
Yes, sir.
Infants formulas, any flavor, anything to it, or just?
Oh.
No, sir. Hey, can I say something real quick?
Sure.
Hey, okay, I'm actually just testing churches to see which ones would actually help the community, and you just touched my heart. And I just want you to know that you are an amazing person. That's the formula, but I don't need it. I just wanted to see if you were willing to help.
Bro's like, I have a job. Like,
Like, why are you doing this except for clout? That's how I
Man,
feel
I just
about it.
wanted
I feel like this whole thing is just her trying to get clout and looking for rage bait. She's trying to post rage bait on TikTok.
okay, so let's ask what would be the logical outcome, I guess, of this? Is it to create some type of awareness? Is it to get the churches to do better? Like, if we're to give her the most charitable outcome to this, and that it's not TikTok clout, which is what it feels like to me, because if it was otherwise, you wouldn't be making videos about it. What is the most charitable definition you can give to what she's doing?
I think she's just calling out hypocrisy. And
Does it matter that she's not actually like a member of the congregation?
is she not?
Well, I mean, they're like, she's not saying that she is. She's not saying that she's a member of these churches, and she isn't actually, because she's calling dozens of churches, so she can't be a part of dozens of congregations.
A lot of people were lamenting the fact that, like, oh, like, this church, I asked them for financial help and they said that they couldn't help me because I'm not a member of their church. Which, I mean, I don't know. I kind of feel like that's a fair response.
I mean,
because of course, like, there are levels of priorities to who can be helped. And if you're a member of their church, they're going to be more invested in helping you. Right?
That's what it feels like to me. But again, I'm not practicing. So like
I think it's pretty clear that she is in this for just clout reasons, because a lot of these videos are being received with a lot of outrage, and that's what I think it is. It's like mostly rage bait. There are only a handful of positive examples like that one. If she were only posting the positive examples, that would be different. And some of the videos, she's asking whoever picks up the phone for cash. It wasn't just this one. In other examples, she was asking for cash to be sent. And if they refer her to another office or a food pantry instead, she claims they aren't helping. Most places have the formula and will give it to you, or they can find it for you. They don't just give cash, no questions asked. On one call, she asked for $35 to buy formula, but most churches say, we can just get you the formula.
Oh, yeah.
We don't usually give cash. Pretty much every church knows where the stash of baby stuff is, and there's usually tons of it. This video, which is smugly saying a gay bar would give the woman the help she needs, doesn't make sense because they're offering to give her formula and baby items, not cash, which would land the gay bar on the naughty list.
This is the same logic that happens when a homeless person asks you for money and you say why, and they say I want to buy something to eat, and you say I'll buy you something to eat, and they get pissed.
Exactly.
Okay,
exactly.
And that's a whole separate thing.
Yeah.
Like that, there's that side of the argument. She's in the wrong. Like it is not their job to give you cash. If you're saying it's for a specific cause, you have no right to be upset when they offer to buy that specific thing and not give you cash.
I do think churches have an obligation, whether you're a member or not, to help people in need.
To the extent of their ability, yeah.
But the thing is, we've gone as far as a phone call. We're not like they haven't met in person. She hasn't. They don't even
no
know
idea what's going on here.
Okay. So if somebody calls me and asks me for help, I better meet with them in person before I actually help them, lest I be taken advantage of by someone. In this case, is it the church's job to give them the benefit of the doubt? You can say, yeah, it is, but still, over the phone is a deal breaker. Either like you prove that you actually need the help and you put a face to the name, or you move on.
And like her performing this social experiment on all of these churches and revealing it at the end of the phone call makes them more skeptical when someone calls with an earnest need. And in one of these examples, a church that she called ended up getting attacked online by people that, she put all the information on screen, so people who are mad at them can go find them.
I think I would want to know if my church was helping someone or not.
Well, here's an example. So if someone called my parish to do a social experiment like this, what they would say is, well, we're affiliated with this home, it's basically a shelter for struggling mothers, which they fund, and they provide diapers, they provide housing, they provide formula, etc. And they would direct her there. But in her system that she's doing this, they would get a failing grade because they didn't just immediately offer the thing that she was asking for. If they send her to like some third party resource, that's like a failing grade for them. And if they ask for more context, or if they ask for evidence of who this person
is there a video of her asking for cash?
Grade.
Is there a video of her asking for cash?
Well, there are like over 40 of these videos at this point, so like I didn't see all of them, but that is some of them.
Well, I did send Brett a stat that was in the comment.
I can't pull that up on here because it's on Slack. But yeah,
it basically just said yes or no, and like it was like a list of like 40 churches or
when sometimes like the answer is more complicated than yes or no. Like sometimes she's logging it as a no when all they did was ask for more details, or all they did was direct her to a charity that's affiliated with the church, right?
Look, I'm either way. I guess you could make the argument, like you said, that you would want to know whether your church is helping or not. But I would call into question the motives of somebody who's making these videos, because it is designed to piss people
Yeah, I
off.
also don't like people tricking people.
Yeah,
That's
like
uncomfortable.
again, these guys, they're volunteering their time. This is just some guy who volunteers to answer phones at this small church. Like now, if you want to do like I called the 40 biggest mega churches in America, it sounds like a Mr. Beast video.
Well, I was reminded of a story about Joel Osteen, where they
Right.
found $1 million of cash. Like the plumber found $1 million of cash behind a toilet.
Behind
in the
the
wall. In the wall.
what?
Yeah, this was in 2021.
That's crazy. Yeah, like certain high profile churches and pastors have definitely had their
It
fair share of
feels
controversies.
Like like that actually seems like it would be an easier thing for people to coalesce around. The idea of these big churches that seem all about the donations and little about actually helping people, whereas this is like you're calling some tiny Pentecostal church that's like you know,
in the middle of
Kentucky.
Kentucky.
The roof is falling off, and they're not helping you to the exact level in which you're asking for help. Give me a break.
I mean, it might be better if it was more like man on the street, where she's actually showing up to the churches, you know?
Yes, yeah.
And I guess
absolutely.
you need a baby for hire, a baby actor.
Yeah. Well, you could put in a fake stroller.
One of these churches on November 5th shared an email with their congregation after they were featured in her TikTok series, saying, on November 4th, our church was targeted online. Someone who is not local called the church number and spoke with Julie, their receptionist. The person lied, saying she was a mother in need of formula for her baby. She played an audio clip of a baby crying. Julie told her that we give help through Helping Hands. This is a third-party affiliated charity. The lady said that Helping Hands said they would not help her. That was also a lie. She did not reach out to that charity.
That's scummy.
Yeah. Julie, the receptionist, knew she was lying because Helping Hands was closed at the time, and Helping Hands would not have turned her away. If Helping Hands was low on something like formula, we would know. Julie, the receptionist, ended the call. The lady posted a video of the call on TikTok. It was recorded and posted without her knowledge.
That's a whole nother thing. Like 2-party consent laws with audio recordings is a real thing. So
True.
I don't know if she did some research into whether the states she called for these things actually require it,
That's
but she could be
dicey
getting herself into
territory.
trouble.
Oh boy.
She claims, the TikToker claims, it is proof that we are insincere Christians. We learned that this lady has a pattern of doing the same thing with other churches. Since the call, the church office has received nasty phone calls, voicemails, emails, Facebook comments, and Google reviews. All of them come from people who do not live here or know us. You know Julie as I know Julie. She serves with excellence and empathy. She is commended for her wisdom, discernment, and willingness to graciously assist people who have legitimate needs. In 1 Peter 4, the Apostle Peter addresses sufferings that the early church endured. Our situation is far from suffering, but we have been insulted and maligned. Peter says, if you are insulted or maligned for the name of Christ, you are blessed, because the Spirit of glory, which is the Spirit of God, is resting on you. If any of you suffers as a Christian, do not consider it a disgrace, but glorify God because you bear his name. Therefore, let those suffering in accordance with God's will entrust their lives to a faithful Creator while continuing to do good. He says that at the latter half of this email, allow me to provide the 4 action steps. Pray for the person who initiated this online attack, and pray for those who have followed suit by sending messages. Maybe they are hurting people. Maybe they were hurt by a church. Let's pray that they encounter the light and love of Christ. 2, this is a reminder that we need to be extremely careful about believing things we see or hear online. This is one out-of-context phone call with a false premise, yet people believe it tells the whole truth about us. When we see or hear things online, we need to think critically and be discerning. 3, if you see nasty comments or reviews, you may report them. If you choose to reply or engage with someone who attacks us with their keyboard, remember who you are. Respond with grace. Love has the power to defang hate. And lastly, one more productive thing you can do. We're getting a swarm of negativity on Google reviews. If I had my way, the church would not be reviewed at all because we are not Burger King. But there's no way to turn them off. Something you can do is drown out the negativity by posting positive reviews. Just make sure what you say is true.
So we're review bombing both directions now. It's left Rotten Tomatoes and it's entered the church demographic.
Our reputation is clear in the community. We love and serve people in numerous ways. I'm not upset or angry. We are insulted for the name of Christ. Let us consider ourselves blessed because we have been slandered, falsely accused, misrepresented, and maligned, just as Jesus was. Let us entrust our lives to our faithful Creator while continuing to do good. This was from their pastor at the church. So
it reminds me of that story that happened in Minneapolis over the last weekend about this restaurant that claimed that they were feeding hundreds of thousands of like hungry kids.
I
and
didn't
it turns
see
out that they
that.
weren't
What was-
feeding like anybody.
Wow.
what was that?
It was let me see if I can pull it up.
That's crazy. Well, okay, I'm just trying to point out that the way she conducts these phone calls is if she gets a positive response specifically from a Christian church, she'll misinterpret it to make it into a no on the spreadsheet. So this receptionist chick says, well, we do charitable giving through this resource. Go to this resource. She lies and says they turned her away. Then the receptionist, using her logical skills of deduction, knows, oh wait, they're not open right now, so you didn't contact them. She's aware at this point that this call is a setup, ends the call, and then people in the comment section on TikTok are like, what? These hypocritical scumbags are denying a starving baby formula. That's not what happened, though.
A Somali restaurant in Minneapolis fraudulently collected $12 million in federal child meal funds by claiming to feed 4,000 to 6,000 children daily. Well,
Wow.
FBI surveillance showed that they only fed about 40 people a day.
Ooh. Just get to the purview of the FBI?
Apparently.
Damn.
It was like that story. Did you see the gambling story about the baseball players over the weekend?
Oh yeah, what was that?
No.
It was like they were like missing pitches on purpose so that they could influence like specific bettors.
I feel like that probably happens across all sports.
So it's just the NBA thing all over again.
Kind of like that. I mean, what did they expect when all of sports became about DraftKings and know
Right.
sports betting?
Yeah.
But yeah, this story is again this type of if you want to call TikTok activism a thing, you better do it really, really well because people are going to be immediately skeptical. It's kind of in the same vein of the people who go out and feed hungry people. You have to, and even those you get more leeway because it's like, have you ever seen the videos where it's like they make the joke where the person like puts the dirty hat on someone's head and like hands them food so it looks like they're homeless so they can get content out of
Right,
it. Like people are automatically skeptical of you if you're going to feed people on, to make TikToks. It's kind of what Mr. Beast, you have to judge it based on, do you care about his intentions or the outcome? Because if the outcome is what matters, then all that matters is a bunch of people got fed. But if how it is done matters, then making it for content isn't necessarily always going to be considered the greatest thing.
That's a good comparison because even when Mr. Beast does his philanthropy, he's never doing it right. He's never doing enough, or he's not doing it the right way. People will always have a gripe if they're biased, and all of these people who are biased against Christians to begin with are just not going to think anything they do is good enough.
Yeah. All right.
Let's read the rest of these super chats though. Rofty said, "Buck, buck, buck."
Buck, buck.
Hi. Pop Culture Junkie said, if you're going to use pop music in a commercial, you need to license all 3 kinds of rights that can be held by different entities for a fixed period with a renewal option. 16 weeks is typical.
But this isn't, assuming that we're talking about the Taylor Swift thing still, I don't think that's what this was because they were just making TikToks.
I guess the TikToks aren't comparable to
no, because
a
they're
commercial
getting
that's aired on TV.
They're getting the music right off the app, which automatically gives you the right to use it. With the exception being, of course, that you could come back 5 years from now, and if TikTok no longer has the light, remember that story a couple of years ago where Universal Music Group pulled all their music off of it, the song's just gone.
Right.
Then, and there's nothing you can do about it.
These artists 100% benefit from having their music on TikTok and Instagram. It would be foolish of them to take it out. Brian Bledsoe said, if the upcoming Michael Jackson and Beatles biopics flop, that genre will go the way of Western films.
Biopics?
The Western genre, I suppose.
But biopics are never going to be as big as Westerns were. It's still a niche market unless it's a really, really big celebrity. And even then, it's got to be once in a while. There's a reason why. What was the name of the 2008 or 2009 Michael Jackson one?
I don't remember.
I forget the name of it. But that was a really big one.
Yeah.
That one did really, really well.
I think this is going to do good.
It was a good trailer. I liked the trailer for it. I can't say that I care enough to go to see a Michael Jackson biopic. I did see an interesting survey that was done over the weekend that people were running online about who the most famous person in the world was, and pretty much everyone agrees that it's Michael Jackson.
And Gen Z is So they made this movie about this guy named Michael Jackson.
No.
I've never heard of him, but let's go see it.
Are they? Are they?
There was also like, so it was so, I don't
Well,
know.
the first time I learned that Michael Jackson existed was when he died.
Oh, well.
Like, I had never heard of him before he died. And then I was like, oh, okay.
They, I remember I was watching this video. It was like the Stevie Richards dedication to Hulk Hogan about the level of fame that Hulk Hogan achieved in his lifetime to be just, you know, he wasn't just famous in America. He was a cultural phenomenon all over the world. And his co-host on this show is this guy from Britain. And he mentioned, he's like, yeah, he's kind of like, and then he listed 2 people I've never heard of. Just, I'm assuming they were like rugby players or like football play, you know, FUT football player, soccer players. Let's be real. Because we do know that, you know, Ronaldo is like the most followed person on social media, but Americans don't
He
understand
just
that.
endorsed Trump, by the way.
I saw that. That was crazy.
Wow.
He's like, I like him. He seems like he basically gave him the I like the cut of his jib thing, where he's
Yeah.
like, he seems like a guy who gets things done.
Kind of wild.
Yeah.
Lulu said, I watched Christy. It didn't feel like art slop or an activist film. It's just a basic biopic of these first female boxing hall of famer. It's decent.
I wonder if they'll end up making one about Ronda Rousey, given how important she was to the start of, you know, women in the UFC.
I'm sure they will, but it'll be AI by then.
Well, and if they do, they better portray her as what she is now, which is constantly bitter and full of sour grapes whenever she does any interview.
I believe I recall the Baz Luhrmann Elvis biopic doing well, right?
Yes.
That's a terrible movie, though.
Really? You watched it and didn't like it?
Did not like it.
Why?
I liked Priscilla better.
I liked Priscilla, but I did not see the Baz Luhrmann
Just
one.
too, like, I don't know. Tom
Was it
Hanks
too
wasn't
frenetic?
good in it. Yeah.
Like, too chaotic.
So chaotic.
I could tell
This
that was
is
the way
it.
it was shot.
That was the Michael Jackson one. This is it.
Yeah, that was
Oh,
good.
okay.
I remember liking that.
But that was,
That was
again,
a long
that was
time
back
ago.
in like 2008, 2009.
Yeah.
He was like still alive when that came out, didn't it? Like, wasn't it about his
Yeah.
last tour or something?
He probably died right at.
Yeah.
If it was 2009, did he die in 2009?
I think it was 2000. It might have been
think it was
2008. It might have been 2008.
I
He's
just
probably still alive on an island
all
with
I
Tupac.
remember is being in 2nd grade, so it was probably.
Oh my god! I think I
It
just
was
started
probably
dating Chris
2008.
at that time.
But yeah, I was like, I didn't know who he was, and everyone was freaking out over him dying, and I that was how I learned he
2009,
existed.
June 2009.
There is a 20 on Rumble from Urka, says, I'm the one whose golden retriever got into the ghost blend. Update. Dog is totally fine. No remorse. And I got my car detailed, but opted out of any air freshener. Still
Nice.
smells seasonal and incredible. It could
I
be
love
like
that for you.
It could be like one of those. Have you ever seen those videos where it's like, instead of opening your monster like this and he just cuts the top of it off and it goes everywhere, open it like this and they open it like this. Instead of making your car smell good like this and they dump cast brew everywhere, do it like this. What they should make is cast brew air fresheners.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Somebody-
I will say it doesn't smell like s'mores. It more so has like the campfire smell, like mixed with cinnamon, which I really like. Shane H. Wilder said $1 Million Baby was about a female boxer and made $216 million on a $30 million budget, but it had Clint Eastwood and Hilary Swank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody liked the Hilary Swank Karate Kid, though.
I used to love that. Well, I was a kid when that movie came out, I feel like.
I remember that
We just watched that recently.
See, Hollywood was woke even back then.
being like the first of many gender swap
Was
attempts.
$1 Million Baby a biopic, though? Was it based on a true story?
I don't know if it was based
don't
on.
know.
I saw it like I got the DVD for Christmas one year. It was one of those things where a relative doesn't know what to get you, so they get you a movie. And I don't think I ever watched it.
I was just looking up like female-led sports movies.
I didn't see Gran
It's not a
Torino
true
till
story.
recently.
It's $1 Million
Get
Baby
off
is
my
fictional.
lawn.
Yep.
That's the only thing I remember from that movie.
Pop Culture Junkie said, be aware that controversy surrounded the original Barbarella due to its themes and Jane Fonda's nudity, especially in the opening sequence.
I wasn't allowed to watch it when I was a kid, shockingly enough.
I did not know that it was so controversial.
I
never
thought
saw
she
it.
was going to make a barbed wire remake. That's what she should do, is make a barbed wire remake.
Brian Bledsoe said 5D chess, more like 36D, I'll see myself out.
Is that Sydney Sweeney?
Well, don't read her band size like that. That's rude. Potatoes for Seamus said, I bet Brett has Wayne's World ad placement to a T.
You know, some people just do things because they get paid, and that's just really sad.
Yeah.
I always wanted the Reebok racing outfit that Garth had in that movie. I got the shoes years later. I got the the Reebok pumps.
Is there like a replica you could find?
Probably. I have a Wayne's World hat.
Like on eBay somewhere.
Like it would probably cost a fortune. But
Yeah.
he's like, it's like when Wayne goes, Nuprin, little, yellow, different.
I rewatched Wayne's World like a couple years ago, and I was like, it's really not as funny as I remember it being.
It's every bit as funny as you remember it being.
Sorry.
it's probably
I
pretty
know
good.
that's blasphemy.
I
but-
was so dumb when that movie came out. I guess I would have been what year did it come out? Come on, 92?
Yeah.
92.
Movies
So
were great.
so I would have been like I'd have been like 6 when I saw it. So like I was probably, but actually no, because I wouldn't have seen it in theater. So I probably would have been about like 8 or 9 when I saw it, and I still didn't understand what he meant when he was like, "We're looking down on Wayne's basement." But that's not Wayne's basement. Yeah, that's weird, dude. Like I didn't understand that it was a set.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
the corporate version of the theme song went kind of hard, and you'll never convince me that it didn't. I think it did.
Shane H. Wilder said, look, sometimes life doesn't go as planned, but complaining when you're the one who caused it is asinine. She literally chose career over a family. Yeah, I just think like the women who find the song relatable wouldn't relate to anything that prompted her to write it. Because we do have this like growing population of single women, and a shrinking population of men who want to get married, it seems. So we're gonna see more and more people talking about that, making art about that. Shane H. Wilder said, common law depends on the state. In Texas, there is no time limit. Refer to each other and act as husband and wife in public. Congrats, you are married.
But didn't it say they weren't from America?
It was a couple in the UK, so I don't know if it works differently there.
Basically, a third world country over there. Who knows what's going on?
Pat the plumber said, you've been my hero for 3 years, and now I hear this fake tree business. Thin ice bread.
Bro,
Why is it such a big deal to have a fake tree? I never understood why people cared.
It's not my fault that you fall into the category of real tree elitism. That's like I don't acknowledge your ivory tower of botanicals. Like I don't.
Botanicals.
I just don't.
How about this? Christmas tree, but it's a bonsai tree.
That's even worse.
No.
Huh? No. Pat the plumber, Shane H. Wilder said, I used colored lights because my tree is flocked.
I don't even know what that means.
I don't know
Me either.
either.
What does that mean?
I have no idea. Adam said, I grew up with colored lights and a music box playing Christmas songs under the tree.
That's awesome.
That's great.
I love that. And the Christmas villages. My family also collected the singing snowmen from Hallmark, the Hallmark snowmen. We have like all of those going back to 2002.
When I was really young, I guess I would have been. What year does anybody know off the top of their head? Because I don't know what year The Lion King came out. Was it 96?
Probably. Yeah, I think it might have been at 96.
If somebody knows, put it in the chat what year The Lion King came out. So
It's 1994.
okay, so I got the Lion King soundtrack for Christmas that year. So I associate all the songs from the Lion King soundtrack with Christmas. Probably around the time I got my N64.
Would you say that The Lion King is like a millennial movie?
I mean,
It's like of the
it
millennial
would have been the
childhood.
cusp of the millennial childhood because
It's
I was a
part
kid
of
when
the
it came out.
Great Disney movies.
Yeah.
Like Aladdin and,
I saw The Lion
Mermaid.
King more than I saw Aladdin, and I think I owned them both.
The Lion King for my generation had to be the Lego movie.
No.
Yeah.
That's sad.
94, yeah, they're saying 94.
Greg Duvier said, as a child, I grew up with a real tree and loved it. As an adult, I like a fake tree. Less maintenance and easier to clean up. See? Priorities.
I went from fake tree to real tree because of where we live. Just
'Cause you can-
beautiful Christmas
You
trees.
can
here.
get better ones here.
Yeah.
It's just never going to be worth it to me. Like, I don't want pine needles on the floor. No.
Maybe perhaps once we have kids, we'll get a
Yes.
real tree.
Yeah, I think so.
And I'll make the kids clean up the pine needles.
Okay, Brian Bledsoe, I'm not reading that. Shane H. Wilder said, my parish doesn't keep food on hand. They send them to the St. Vincent de Paul Society down the street because that is where all food donations go. See, then, if this woman called your church and they said you can go to the St. Vincent de Paul Society, they have a food pantry, she would say, well, they turned me away and they said no. And they're evil. So go review bond them. Like, that's dishonest, like that's shitty.
Somebody says, you had the soundtrack on cassette, Brett. Yes, I did. I had it on cassette. And I had original old Weird Al Yankovic on cassette as well, because I got all my brother's old leftovers once he made the switch to CDs, because he could afford it.
Rural Conservative said, we're holding our own. Captain Ernest McSorley, 7:10 p.m. November 10th, 1975. The last radio message from the Fitzgerald. Watch the Lore Lodge video on it.
I saw a YouTube short that like an Instagram reel that Aiden Mattis did, and I was one of those things where I was like doing things here, I was working, and it was playing in the background, and it was him breaking down like the song from Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy Krueger's song, and he's like, I expected it to just be like him kind of quoting it a little bit, but then he went like deep into like the lore of Freddy Krueger, and I'm like, okay.
Is there lore? I didn't know there was
lore. It was a Halloween episode.
Grofty said, buck, 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 LOL.
Buck, buck.
Thank you for that. Hiroshima Otaru said, flocked is when they put fake snow on the tree. Oh, I knew that.
Yep.
Just like somewhere in the back of my mind, I knew that was what it meant. I like that though. Shane H. Wilder said a flocked tree is covered in fake snow. Colored lights contrast well with the white tree. I like the yellow lights. I think we need more yellow light in society in general. Everything looks like a hospital now.
That seems like very Emily Mariko.
So
what
is
does
white?
that mean?
Like everything's white and beige.
I need to
White,
look her up.
beige.
Who is that?
Emily Mariko. I think that's how you say it. She's the one. She does like a lot of like cooking, cooking videos, and she has like a little baby, and she,
I'm not into the whole like
very elitist,
everything beige trend.
So this was actually something I enjoy going back and watching old skate videos, because the difference is when you would see night clips of people skating in the city, they would be skating in orange light as opposed to skating in fluorescent light that you see today. Now, when we were younger, we hated that because we didn't like the way it looked. We would, you try to white balance the camera. It doesn't actually work enough. And the lights weren't actually good enough to really light things up. A lot of times you had to bring generators to skate spots if you wanted to go places at night. And of course, pick places where somebody's not going to drive by and be like, what the fuck are you doing? But I saw like a thing the other day said Drive was like the last real movie that was made when streetlights were still yellow, and it adds to the vibrancy of what you're looking at there. But I do love going back and looking at old skate videos where like it's so dark, it's in orange. I'm like, how did we even see what we were doing?
I'm pretty sure the blue and purple streetlights that are pretty much the norm now are associated with like an immediate uptick in violent crime at night.
There is a strong, I forget what it is.
It really like messes with your brain chemistry.
We should ask Shane, but I know that there is a huge conspiracy around the purple lights, but I don't remember what it is. There's a verifiable conspiracy about the purple
probably
light.
Klaus Schwab is behind it.
It's probably something
Makes
from the
sense
World
to me.
Economic Forum.
Yeah.
I think I heard that like red light actually is calming, even though it doesn't seem that it would be.
Yeah, that's why people like wear the red glasses. High Voltage 75 said, based Mary the white light supremacist. Don't clip me. Hiroshima Otaru said flocked is when they put fake snow on the tree. Yes, we are aware now. Brian Bledsoe said, my first, I'm not reading that. Where's my badge?
Yeah, that's
Congrats.
That's an accomplishment. I saw that one. I saw that what he said. That was pretty impressive to pull that off. Mary's pretty good. I mean, people act pretty accordingly today. they're not too bad, which is a good thing.
Because why would you waste your money for something to not get read? Yeah, I'll never understand that.
That will never make it. Well, I mean, I think a lot of them, they see it as a test to see if they can say something that won't get read. Because it's twofold. It has to be both okay for YouTube to not tell them no,
right,
but bad enough that you'll tell them no as well.
There's a delicate balance.
Yes, it's not easy, because sometimes people are like, I tried to super chat this thing and YouTube wouldn't let me. So they have to. It has to be something that both you two will allow, but you won't.
Right.
It's kind of like finding a perfect middle ground.
Do we have any more Rumble rants, or are we all caught up?
We're all caught up.
here?
Somebody said purple light makes people speed. I don't know if I believe that.
Just so you can get out of the purple light sooner.
There you go. I mean,
I hate it.
out here, they're
There's no lights out
there's
here.
Most of the time.
the Tractor Supply out by us has purple lights on it. And it's very disturbing when you see it.
I hate it.
Yeah. All right. Guys, before we go, would you hit the like button on this video, please, and subscribe to the channel if you are new here and you have not subscribed here yet already. You should also, if you get a chance, guys, please check out the PCC Weekend Update that I did that released on Saturday. It is on all the audio platforms like Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Music, all that stuff. Please go ahead and check that out. And Mary has coffee to shill.
Yes, go to castbrew.com. Get yourself a bag of Mary's Ghost Blend if you haven't already. Makes a great air freshener for your car, I heard, from many reliable sources. We have a 20 here from Grofty. Party Time?
I don't know. I don't know how close that will be.
Party Time.
Might be. And then we got one more
TBD
there
on
from Carnell.
Maybe you meant to say party on.
Maybe. What is the first quote that comes to mind when you think of Wayne's World? 1 or 2?
Party on.
Party on, Wayne. Party on. I mean, there's
Game off.
I have a lot of them actually. Mainly it's Miliwake, which is Algonquin for the good land.
Shall wing.
That's a big one.
Wing. Claudia Schiffer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could.
I got $5,000.
Garth, marriage is punishment for shoplifting in some countries.
When he gets her a gun rack, when she gets him the gun rack.
I don't even own a gun, let alone many guns that would necessitate an entire rack.
Exactly.
What am I gonna do with a gun rack? You know, Wayne, if you're not careful, you're gonna lose me. Duh, I lost you 6 months ago. Get the net. And various other lines. I love that movie.
I have to watch it again.
It is really good.
I want to see you like Mystery Science Theater the entirety of the movie. See if you can recite it by
Wait,
heart.
is this like your favorite movie? We didn't
It's
talk
not like
about
my
this.
favorite movie of all
I
time,
thought
but
you
it
said
was
your favorite movie was either Heat or Sicario.
Heat.
no.
Right? You definitely said that at one
Heat is my
point.
favorite movie of all time. Close second is the 1990 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie.
All right. Okay.
But yeah, but the thing is, I can quote more of Wayne's World than I
Very
than I can
quotable.
of Heat.
Do you think I would like Heat?
No.
No?
It's
Why?
too long. You'll hate.
too long.
It's too long.
You don't like long movies generally, though, either.
I was on a lot of drugs the first time I saw it. It was easier to stay still.
Is it exciting?
I mean, have you watched it again since then?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. I mean, long movies that you liked from a different time, they're grandfathered in. They're grandfathered in. It kind of suffers the same thing because when I saw it when I was younger, I didn't really come to love it as much as I did till I was older, but I did see it when I was younger. But it falls into the same trap that Casino Royale falls into, where it feels like the second act should be the end of the movie. Because the end of the second act is the bank heist. And for a kid, you're like, guns? Like, feels like the movie should be done. But then there's like a whole other scene of them trying to track down Waingro and them trying to escape after the bank robbery, which always felt superfluous. It's not. It's completely necessary to the entire plot. But when you're younger, it's the same thing in Casino Royale, where it feels like the movie should end after the like poker match. But then there's all this other stuff that happens after that. But I could quote Wayne's World more than I could quote Heat.
Is it more of a pew pew kind of movie?
Honestly, no. I mean, there is a lot of pew pew in the movie, and it's famous for that, but that's not really what it's about.
I always see these memes that are like me when I tell my boyfriend I don't care what we watch, and then there are guys shooting guns and saying go, go, go.
Yeah.
I never related so hard.
That's every guy. It was a Dane Cook bit where he says, for instance, every guy wants to be part of a heist. He's like every guy wants to be like, every time they watch the movie Heat, they're like, I want to do that. Yeah,
Okay,
you do.
we have a couple more. Greg Duvier said, I like turtles and the left lane is for crime.
Perfect.
And Grofty said hostage party. It's been a while since we had a hostage party.
Yeah, it's been a very long time.
Now that I think about
Wait,
it.
what happens with the hostage party?
So they super chat and we can't end the stream until they stop super chatting, or until I can get through the outro fast enough before a new super chat comes in.
Which, since you mention it, we should probably start the
Yes,
outro.
let's do that. Guys, hit the like button on this video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here and you've not done so already. Alex, thank you so much.
Oh, it was so fun hanging out with you guys tonight. Come check out Inverted World Live tonight.
Yep, and she will be sitting in for me
Yes.
this Friday.
That's
Yes. You guys can send me validation on Instagram at Mary Archived, or you can send me hate on X. That is also Mary Archived. And help me get TikTok famous. That is also Mary Archived.
All right. In the chat, somebody says, Bond, you didn't like the length of the shortest Bond movie. Stay away from the rest. No, it's not about that. It's about the pacing and the way it felt growing up when I saw it. I was like just out of high school. I still love that movie, but I do. Hit the like button on the video again, guys. If you want to follow me, Instagram and X at Brett Dasovic on both of those platforms. This show is here 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is of course noon Pacific. Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify. If you'd like to listen rather than just watch the show, they're quoting Wayne's World in here.
That's
I love
awesome.
it. And if you want to follow the show on social media, we are on Twix at popculture_show, Facebook at Pop Culture Crisis, Instagram at Pop Culture Crisis Pod. Guys, we will be back with another episode tomorrow. We'll see you then.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.